This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your live market chat Tuesday, October 3rd, 2023. Thank you, Zero Hedge, for getting bullish yesterday. Yeah, as we've said, we think the market's heading lower. Won't be a straight line, but the trajectory is to make lower lows and lower highs. If you were trading around your positions, you were managing your positions, you're doing exactly what we talked about, even taking some profits in oil near term as we have OPEC tomorrow and rolled it into some of the other plays we posted. Hot diggity dog. Gonna give it a few minutes to let people kind of come on in, but if you have any questions, feel free to ask them now. I feel bad for folks who are going after the bond market. I don't have a preference. I like bonds. I think at some point it makes sense, but I am not stepping in front of that freight train. Just not going to do it. Just not going to do it. So if you have any questions from the Discord room, post it in the friends trading chat or the main chat. I will try to answer them best I can, but at this point, just letting people roll in. We're here a little early, as usual. I like to come in early just to kind of get situated, talk about if there's any questions before I really just get into it. But if not, this will be pretty fun. Again, not really much going on in terms of data. Got OPEC tomorrow, ADP. I think the JOLTS number, was it? It came in bad. Let me look real quick. There was some data this morning that I think the market did not like. Yeah, the JOLTS. Yeah, we went from 9.6 million, 9.61 million openings from 8.827. So basically 500,000 job openings, which is interesting. I don't know. I mean, openings, are they being filled? I don't know. I mean, again, I need to look at this JOLTS data real quick. Because it seems like, it does, or maybe it went prior revised 8.92. Yeah, whatever. It's not that important. But clearly the market didn't like it. But hot diggity dog to some of my homies in the Discord room. If you're on Airbnb or Guggenheim or Meta, Micron, jumped into FedEx today, added more Micron, Apple bus, Apple's rotten. Yeah, talked about it. Titanium phone holding heat. Sounds like they're going to have to they have to update the software and make it less powerful. Awesome. So why would people upgrade? This is just an amazing situation going on with them. Either way, always here to help. If you have any questions, again, this is what this room is for. Help each other out, hold each other accountable, do the best we can. So just holding off before I really dig deep into things, give it another minute or two. But I know you can hear me. Hello, hello, hello. No, just kidding. If you're around, yeah, holler at your buddy. Man, I want to look at some charts. I'm like dying to rip into them. Like, just wait. Apple. Airbnb has foundational cracks. Disney Plus follows network on subscription sharing crackdown. Yeah, of course not. So many issues. Anyone have any questions before I just start ranting? Because if not, I will jump into what I'm watching. Someone posted this in the bear markets end in October. I'd be looking at the March. I mean, we're just getting started. And again, a bear market is 20% plus down, which again, I think we're in a prolonged bear cycle. We didn't even drop 20% off the highs, y'all. Keep that in mind. You're new to the channel, check out YouTube. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Always dropping stuff. Follow on Twitter, posting all the charts. Spent what seemed like an hour dropping charts and charts and charts and charts and charts and levels and levels and charts and levels and charts and levels and charts. Hot diggity dog. If you're new as well, check out the tradingagent.com markets account. Now it's 5.4%. And if you're worried about your brokerage, Schwab, going under, your positions being trapped, maybe you had shorts, puts, calls, and they just wipe them out on you, I would be looking at Interactive Brokers, link to that. So, Fed Watch Tool, we're at 71% last night. Let's refresh it. Because again, it's like, yeah, I mean, it's basically the same. So questions. Airbnb has major issues with lawmakers banning and nursing on bear. Yeah, no one cares, Scott. We know. The chart looks like shit on Airbnb. I mean, that's one piece of it. Again, when the trend is in your favor, the news seems to line up with that. Everybody who follows the channel should know that. Should absolutely know that. Again, it always seems like the news follows the trend. Right? How many times have we said that? I know if Eric's around, he's going to like light you up because it's such an obvious thing we've talked about. You know, it's like you talk about Livermore and then also volume price analysis. I talk about this. Like when something is moving in direction, it seems like the news just confirms it. It's already too late. Don't mean to ask such a noob question exactly. How are the rates affecting big tech? I mean, it's affecting all businesses. Higher interest rates, it's harder to borrow. Tech needs low interest rates to borrow to invest capital. They don't pay dividends, and they know their margins only get squeezed tighter and tighter and tighter over time because, again, tech by itself is deflationary, and there are no barriers to entry. And so people will just come in and try to rip them off naturally, right? So just kind of it is what it is. What is the best way you can follow the movement of the bond rates that affects the markets? I mean, I'm watching the TLT. That's the easiest one. That's probably the biggest, most liquid ETF to follow the bond market. I would keep an eye on that. I would absolutely keep an eye on that. Man, is Eric around? He would absolutely rip you, Scott, for that question. It's and a comment. And again, it's not trying to be mean, but it's just like everybody who shorted Airbnb, the treasury bond yield, I just kind of, how to watch it. I just use the CNBC app. They have the treasury yield on there. I just use that. It'll show you the updated treasury yields. Again, it's like, it's hard for me to get maybe there's a ticker for eSignal. I'm just a dummy. I've just been using TLT. It's been simple. But like, look at Airbnb. I mean, posted this last night. Posted this when the 20-day hit, and some of y'all took this trap. It's like MU today makes a new high. Again, this is a downtrend, and now it's breaking the 100-day. Imagine that. I mean, this is a professional gap. I mean, it doesn't feel like a novice gap because that was a little bit of a novice gappy, but it seems like it's heading lower. Yeah, the news is known before it's reported. Thank you, Eric. Yeah, obviously somebody knew that New York was going to do that. So by the time it hits the ticker tape, I love saying ticker tape. It's like 1970s here, or 1870s ticker tape, or maybe the 1900s. Yeah, somebody knows. Somebody knows. If you wait for the news, the train has left the station and you're still sitting on it. Yeah, and if you're sitting, yeah, exactly. That's why you want to get in it before the news, because the action will what? Typically prove it, right? Like, look at this. This is like my joke of the day of folks who didn't get on the train of some of these. And it's like, oh, the Harry Potter, goodbye. Going to, man, why can't I remember? Where did he go into? Not Dumbledore. Wherever they have all their wizardry stuff. But that's what's up. By the time, again, that's why you need to be in front of the news, and you need to watch the price action. You need to go. You got to be able to read the tape. Yep, exactly. Thanks. Thank you, Joe. Exactly. At the station, not on the trap, but just exactly. Agreed. Got to leave in 10 minutes by Google. Oh yeah, dude. If you guys nailed, again, and it's like, this is why we post the levels. But then I get people who ask me about charts that I don't even pay attention to, could care less about. But it's like, watch a 20-day on Goog. It's that simple. Ticker for the 10-year. Is it for eSignal? Let me try that out. Maybe you could be right. Oh, no. Not for eSignal, but a lot of other brokerages. Yes, Big Ugly. It is. Micron makes a little peak above the 20-day. Remember we shorted yesterday, added today, kapow, giving it back. FedEx posted this. 20 years, yeah. Yep, exactly. Thanks, Big Ugly, for posting that. TNX, is it the TNX for this one? I'll check that in a second. Talked about FedEx, said watching this retail pop. And then I said this morning, I'm like, you know what? I just filled the gap, 265. I could care less. If it goes up, could it get to 270? Probably not in this environment. No, that's cool, man. Appreciate it, Big Ugly. Other people need to know. Very much appreciate it. It was like, I don't care. I will take any pop on this thing. 265 took a bit because, again, I closed off some ExxonMobil, as we've, talked about. Like, you've got OPEC tomorrow. If you've got oil and like oil shorts, don't be surprised if they rally, except for MPC. Holy crap. Or Valero. I guess the gas names are showing the demand destruction. Absolutely crap. Is it TNX? So let me just, again, it's got my thinking about it. It's like, I think it might, no. Again, eSignal has its own little tickers. Ticker. But here's what's funny. Like, here's FedEx, right? Double top. Look at your friend UPS. Go! Okay. Now, again, FedEx supposedly is managing their costs better. Thanks, Big O. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Can I give you a thank you? Our heart. Yay. Yeah. It's a matter of when. We talked about the industrials. Look out below. Take over. Like, again, it's just a matter of time. Caterpillar, again, been trading around this one. I have not traded around this one in the last couple of days. I've just been kind of letting it ride since it popped up again. Break the lows. Break the lows. Now, again, this is what's so hard to people who like chase lows or chase high or chase the movement. It's like, man, if you would have shorted the highs and just been patient and traded around it, well, again, if you want to trade around it, prepared. If you have puts, please have time. For the love of God, these moves do not happen quickly. And if they do happen quickly, bonus. Most times than not, they don't. We talked about like Wells Fargo yesterday breaking. I mean, there's a lot of names that just look like goodbye. EXPI, great company. This is why I love people talk about fundamentals. EXPI is killing it. We're at EXPCon and they're talking it today in Vegas. I didn't go to it. I just don't have that kind of commitment. Absolutely taking agents from every brokerage with our cloud-based software and management systems. It's amazing, but guess what? Fundamentally pain. Ooh, come on, FedEx. Break the 50-day in the gap because you could see a $10 kapoo. Let's just talk about some other names. If you're watching Tesla, I know a lot of people are watching it, chopping around. I mean, again, I don't know. You could probably short this here with a tight stop because it's going to break at some point. Good old Adobes. I mean, again, I just love tech. I think it's the easiest short. Little gap down. We'll see what happens here. Good old Apple. Titanium is not good. We talked about anything up near like 174. I mean, I was really hoping 175, but we'll see. Day's not over. Maybe it rallies somehow. Amazon, talked about this thing was going to get cooked, baked. 100-day clam bank. Professional gap maybe. Meta, you sneaky little sucker. Didn't get into it, but if you want to short it up here, it makes sense. Just tighten up your stops. Microsoft, look at that. Whoa, low of the day. Uh-oh. Yeah, Meta is tapping toes. I mean, I think it's going to go. It's just a matter of not if, but when. MicroStrategy, right? We talk about Bitcoin. Another gap and go. NDAQ said, break the trend. It's over. Roblox. It's just interesting. Again, I love going through this. Yeah. Oh, God. AMT steadily doing again, the huge red flags in the markets are the leaders. Scott, I don't agree at all. AMT, CCI are not leaders. Can somebody set him straight while I talk? Again, those are not the leaders of the market. Apple is the leader of the market. Industrials are the leaders of the market. Big tech. Remember Goldman? I said this yesterday and the day before about this. Goldman upgraded big tech, said it was the cheapest it's been in what seemed in forever. I can't remember the exact time frame, but it's like, they need to unload. They absolutely need to unload. So no, those are not, steady dividend companies are not the leaders of the company. That's where people hide. Those stocks don't go anywhere more times than not. Remember? Think about it. AMT, yes, we get it. I know what that is. American Tower. Those aren't the leading companies. Those aren't like big, massive companies that lead the whole market. Like, they're not. I mean, that's just... Yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know how to explain it nicely. And again, it's like, I don't know how you can... Scott, do you just watch CNBC? I don't know where you get your information and your opinions from, because it's like, it's just not right. And everybody here who follows this would say the same thing. Those are not the leaders of the market. Utilities are not the leaders. Utilities breaking just helps confirm weakness, but we saw this coming what? We saw this weeks ago. Did we not? Yeah, anything? I mean, we talked about, all right, here you go, starting to pull back. Professional gap starts to move. We said the first drop will get bought, much higher than I thought. Honestly, thought we could go up to here, but then boom, fail. Professional gap, fail. Yeah, you need and Eric, you and I both know this because I know you've done this. I've listened to freaking Livermore book once a month. I just do. I just do. It's such a captivating book because every time I listen to it, what happens? Something relates to what's going on in the market, and it gives me a little piece of insight because I can't obviously remember the whole 11-hour book. I mean, not all the book is like all market stuff. Sometimes it's psychology. It's some of the timing. It's the era. It's an interesting book if you like history. But there's red flags everywhere, right? Like IWM. I mean, again, it's like I don't know who I'm talking to with some of these folks that just pop into this. It's like, wasn't we said like it's lagging? Watch for lagging. I I can recite movies, but I can't recite a lot of Livermore stuff. Exactly. I can too. Like his one-liners are just amazing. Amazing. I don't know. We talked about the dollar rallying, looking strong. We talked about the TLT. Like you gotta, again, as much as I like the TLT, again, this is why you have to be able to pivot, change your mind. Imagine if you would have just held on. Now, I mean, it's just getting pulverized. I don't know. Could it be this? We don't know. We just don't know. So again, I think people need to realize there's rules to the market. I've said this a bazillion times. Like here, I will show it. The Airbnb train. Yeah, no doubt. And again, it's in recommended reading room, but let me go to the reference articles. Where is it? Stop, hit pause, watch this. Again, none of the shit that people talk about on TV matters. Oh, please, Meta, go. I want some of the people who got in it stuck. Come back to them. Again, I got popped off. I just gave up. I was like, you know what? There's better, not better opportunities long-term, but near-term. I mean, read this stuff. Most active stocks require longer periods of time for their distribution. Advance will be more direct upside to attract public interest in order to distribute the ever-increasing accumulative inventories. Do we not realize number 6 begins with A? Just change this to AI. Will have to be more dramatic on the upside to attract public interest. I mean, that's literally kind of what's going on here. So again, how you interpret this comes through experience. I do not, in my new house, I don't even have cable because I've been reading so much and I've been watching and videos and just studying more just because, again, I'm working on psychology stuff constantly. I love it. Fucking love it. Excuse my language. But I don't need to watch CNBC. I don't need to follow. Do you guys not realize, like, I am not following anybody? Does anyone truly believe, like, no, do they recognize that? I know the people, I don't follow anyone. Just like you honestly shouldn't follow me blindly. You should be evidence-based so that you can interpret the action and be a better judge of what to expect the next iteration and the next iteration and the next iteration. Does this make sense? This is why this information is so valuable, in my opinion. That's why I appreciate the generous donations. People who get it, fucking get it. You're not sitting there watching CNBC or waiting for somebody to tell you stuff. You're able to paint the picture because you don't look at the market with a magnifying glass. You zoom out, you see the bigger picture. You start on the bigger time frames. You see what's going on. You know the repeating patterns. You know the seasonality. You know first and last 3 business days. You know options expiry. You know everything. But you don't sit there and you go, well, I saw the gamma and the beta. And you start going through the option stuff so hard. And you start overanalyzing. And you just go, what do we know? What do we know? October can be scary as crap because it's the 4th quarter and people want to lock in their gains. If the markets are up, 20% for the year to date, how many people want to lock in that fucking bonus and end their year right now if they could? And it's a race to the bottom, and I've seen this happen before in Octobers. And again, just because it doesn't, but because it might get crazy, doesn't necessarily mean what? That it has to bounce, and the bounces are going to be strong. We don't know that. Trade around your positions. But every time somebody comes on and says something bullish like Goldman, zero hedge, you got to be going, oh, are you fucking kidding? Yes. Bitcoin, failure. Oil, not surprised, bound. I mean, I don't know how high. Could it get that? I don't know if it'll get that high. But again, have I not said, it's literally in my notes. SPR needs to be refilled. Expect more OPEC cuts coming in the foreseeable future. They're just going to keep cutting because they like the price in the 90 range. They're not complaining. But demand destruction is a real thing at some point. Like I said, I don't think futures are going negative, but it just doesn't mean oil can't go lower. Clearly, interest rates are going, and they're moving. And guess what? Feds go, we got to kill inflation before we can lower rates and turn on the freaking spigot of liquidity. Thanks, Big Ugly. I am preaching because, again, I just don't get why the same people who spend time watching the market do not recognize their own self-inflicted weaknesses. Because if you don't, you will repeat them. I am a classic example. We all are. How many times have you made the same mistake more than once? Everybody, right? Everybody. There's no one here that's not made a mistake twice. Problem is that if you keep making, like you use the same basis for your information and you get the same results, that's the problem here. That's where, again, my goal is not to have people following me blindly. I want the people in the Discord room. That's why I keep like the whole goal of the Discord room is a bunch of people who are badasses, who do their own work and post their own trades. If they want to follow mine every once in a while, great. Because at some point, I've told this to everybody else. If I follow your trade, I will give you absolute recognition. And if I take it based on your evidence, I will pay you. Again, if I would have taken Google today, I would have paid Eric. I don't know, because he's been screaming that one. I just missed it. But I was just sitting there looking at FedEx going, man, FedEx could drop 10, 15, 20 points, and you can buy some really cheap next week options at the money. That's what I was looking at. That's all. I mean, again, it's still, the point of all this is to not be, again, attached to anybody. Be evidence-based. And that's where, at times, when I'm wrong, other people are right. I'll give them credit. I mean, did anyone see AI going to the moon because of what's going on in the world? Again, I've called this the silent recession. We're in it. Did anyone see NVIDIA going bonkers? Just waiting for them to get busted for accounting fraud. But did anyone see, I mean, again, we talked about, week 100, thought maybe, okay, 400, that's enough. Like, this is the ending gap. Look at this shit. You got to be kidding me. Rule number 6, AI needs more time to distribute, clearly. But now it's game over, right? If you took this trade, again, I post these trades. What did we say? Watch the 50, 20 day, maybe the channel. Again, if you shorted at 450 and you're sitting, or you didn't because you're like, oh, it's got to get to 455. Again, where's freaking anybody who knows it? Do not bring a ruler to trading. Yes. Yes. Sorry, someone telling me how well they're doing on the side. I'm like, yes, fuck yeah, absolutely. My man Lee, if you're listening, happy for you, my friend. When it goes, oh boy, and that's what we talk about, the lower highs. Think about all this. Again, I mean, you want me to talk with accents? I can talk with accents. When you see the market ripping like this, but then you start seeing lower highs, you got to be curious, very curious of the down. Get down again. Think about why, right? Because everybody who bought up here is like, oh, it's the future. Well, the people down here clearly distributed up here. I mean, we saw where insiders were dumping. We saw where institutions were unloading. Like, bleh. Well, now retail's buying all up in here, and they're like, I thought this was going to 1,000. What happened? No. I don't know what to say sometimes. I mean, again, I'm like speechless here. Come on, Caterpillar, do the damn thing. Do the damn thing. FedEx, I mean, I feel like FedEx and Caterpillar are kind of a similar trade, but again, these stocks can move rapido. Rapido Domingo. I mean, look at Caterpillar. It went from 256 down to 220. I mean, again, I'll take 20, 25 points very quick. The internet was the future in 2000, yes. And oil was the future in 2009. And housing was the endless future in the 2000s. Yes. Yep. Yeah, those internet stocks, as many of you guys know, I am old enough to remember that age because I grew up in Raleigh, North Carolina, which was the Research Triangle Park that had lots of tech companies. NC State, my alma mater, had lots of connections with some of them too. Goodbye. I remember when I was in college, we were running Sun Microsystems operating for the computers. Anyone remember that? Sun? I mean, I think obviously Microsoft took all that over, but maybe not. I don't know. I wasn't a tech guy. I was finance and español. Puedo hablar español. Todos los. What's the video? Like película is movie. I don't know. I remember carpooling around in 2007. Yeah, because oil prices were bonkers. Were absolutely bonkers. So anyone have any thoughts, questions? Again, if you want me to be completely honest, yeah, Linux. Okay, Linux took it over. Okay, that's what it was. I remember Linux too. Thanks, Eric. I know you're in tech. Be vulnerable here. Let me shred you if you have problems. I will give you exact. If you want, hey, I need help with this. I make this mistake constantly. Tell me about it because I will tell you I've done the same thing and I can help you fix it. If not, no worries. Not a problem. But that's honestly what I'd love to reach out. I mean, again, what are we going to say? People go, what's the level the market's going to bounce? I don't know. They're definitely carpooling. Someone said, it's holding the EMA. I'm like, I don't really follow the EMAs. Well, here comes the 200-day. But here's the problem. Down, you got a little reload. So maybe, and as I've said, don't be surprised if it goes below the 200-day. Oh, that's right. It's on my other computer. This is kind of what look at the VAP zone here, right? Why don't we touch somewhere in the four? Let me pull this up. 415 to 412. Come on, let me zoom open. Yeah, yes. Yeah, let's see what happens here. Let me remove that rectangle. Look where all the liquidity is, right? Let's just clean this up. Somewhere down here. Linux took it over. That is correct. This gap trap. This is hard sometimes, but now this is the thing though, now that you have the trend, this is where I try to, CRM breaking 200. The trend is our friend. But here's the thing think about this market, 450s to 420, whatever. But interest rates have doubled. 4 or 5%. Look at this. Look at this crap, right? Like, think about where interest rates were back last year, right? Or at this same levels, right? Look at the SPY, right? SPY in the 400 level plus. Interest rates were what? 4 or 5%. Now they're much higher. I guess, it depends on if you're talking about treasuries, but you know what I mean. Interest rates have significantly risen. Why would we stop here? Why would the market have any value? Because again, remember, they run it based on discount cash flow, and they go, money allocations, bonds versus stocks, all that crap. Why would the market be cheap with interest rates that high in the 400 level of 390, 385? It's not. And earnings are what? Slowing. It's just again, I don't know if we're going to hit some sort of October blow up flash crash, but I would love it. Again, I have been involved in them and short before them, and when they happen, there's a bounce that comes after it, obviously, because again, the market is what? Choppy, sloppy. Man, there goes oil back at the highs for the day at least. But does this make sense? Any questions, thoughts, concerns? Again, I'm here for you guys and gals. Man, and it's there as a rule of 7 stocks. Yep, people can get 5%. Why risk it in the market? Yep, Scott, exactly. That's kind of one of the things. Would you rather wait a year without the volatility and buy? And again, this is the problem though, is that a lot of people thought the same thing at 4%, and then they got penalized. Because remember, bonds price based on interest rates, where they're moving. So the higher interest rates go, lower interest rate bond prices obviously went down. So now you mark to market, and it's like, SpaghettiOs. Again, come on, FedEx break, 260, Caterpillar, you're doing it. Come on, you can do it. Yeah, there's a lot of people who are going to think that for the end of the year. Now, again, you would think, though, so this is the thing, right? What is rather scary is that thinking makes sense to me. Makes sense to anybody, right? Why buy the market? You can buy bonds. Oh, why are bonds just getting cremated? But you are getting volume. But is inflation going away with oil at the highs? That's why we need to see, because maybe here's the thing. This is what I've thought is possible. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong here. As long as oil holds up in the 90s, I don't know if people buy bonds yet. Does everyone agree with this? Is this thesis not seem rather logical? Does this make sense? What's the VIX at? Getting up in the 20s. Okay. Right? Do you trust inflation's coming down with oil holding up? Oh, hello. Oh, hello. Low 21's next target. Any disagreement? Because again, I mean, as someone who's trying to project the next headline, that's what I would think they would try to get. At the lows, they'll tell people not to buy bonds, right? Don't buy bonds. Oil's too high. Well, then oil will crash and then bonds will rally. Are we close? Man, it feels like there's due for a bounce. But will the market rally? Excuse me. Will the market rally if bonds rally? I don't know. I don't know. Again, I mean, gold getting closer and closer to our targets. Right? Like, it's like, man, could we not see the low 160s soon? Especially by the end of the year, if like market kind of just dies around and plays games, and then they'll sell tax loss selling. Because keep in mind, like, where was gold to start the year? Okay, so gold to start the year was somewhere around 180. Yeah, they'll tax loss sell the shit out of it. If you don't know why they do that, I mean, they do that almost every year. It's almost rather criminal and rather hurtful for someone like me who does like gold. It's like, you bastards. CCJ, what did we say? People are hiding in uranium. Oh, there. Ooh. Nice call. I don't know who said it. No, actually, someone said it, but was scared to short it. Confirmed. Remember, sometimes the hard trades are scary. Very scary. What's the carry doing? Oh, yeah, down another 85 cents. You know, could we sit here and pat ourselves on the back? I mean, I guess, but just be careful. Like, man, that looks so bad. ABC, down. USO, oh gosh, 80-20, yes. Keep in mind, probably some short opportunities in oil coming. Right? Market ain't liking it. Man, I might have to. I guess it's too early. OPEC's not even till later. So here, let's just go back to the oil chart. I guess where are we at? 90. USO. Again, interrupt me at any point if you have a legitimate question. I'm just kind of talking to talk at this point to see if there's anything we can drum out of here. 8-day, 10-day, maybe upper 80s. We'll see. Again, if you've got long dated short oil, I mean, I don't think you're too concerned. I can't wrap my head around all the correlations with stocks, treasury bonds, oil. I think, okay, so Deanna, here's what I'm going to tell you. You're a smart girl. I can say that, right? We're friends. People say I'm a smart guy. Sometimes I don't know what the fuck is going on. And if I really try to put like this visor on of like, I got to figure out why. Well, don't we know from Livermore's book? I mean, here's another Livermore example. Sometimes you don't know the why until it's too late. Right? You don't know why. Like, what if some central bank, as we speak, is trying to prop up oil and then they're hedging it with dollar bets and they're shorting? I mean, we don't know. We just don't know. I mean, I could sit here and like just talk about this, right? Yeah, exactly. But here's the thing, like, don't focus on it. That's what I tell people. It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. At like some like basic rudimentary bottom line, it just doesn't matter. And when I say that, I mean that like, because I mean, there's probably a lot of people who are trying to wrap their head around like, inflation's going higher. I got to buy gold. I got to buy silver. I got to buy Bitcoin. And they're getting wrecked. And that's the thing about the market. This is the one thing that I've like tried to impress upon people, no matter what happens, no matter if you're still around in 10 years, you're going to have to learn this lesson, and we all have. Sometimes the market's going to do things that make no sense. And if you try to outsmart the market by thinking that you're going to be right, and that one time you're wrong, it's going to wipe you out. Wipe your ass, whatever you want to call it. And that's the biggest thing I've always tried to warn folks is that, again, we can be on fire, we can be trading well, we can have our, we can be nailing trades, but then it's like, do we believe our own hype? Because here you go. Like, because we could sit here and rationalize out A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? But we can't really, we got to be careful doing that. Does this make sense? Does this make sense? Because if we're not careful, what's going to happen? We're going to make a mistake. I mean, again, as much as I love EXP stock or EXP company, like I have like a lot of agents who are like, oh, our stock's going back to 90. I'm like, good luck. If it ever sees 90 again, it won't be for a while. Not with interest rates where they're at. Housing market just went. Someone could hear the brakes squealing as someone pulled emergency brake. I can't get a call back from anybody who once was interested in real estate. They're like, oh, psych. Again, there will be some deals. And if you get prices that can make sense with the interest rates, again, I think you will have long-term upside potential. Keep this in mind. Like I always tell people, if people are not buying houses, what are they doing? What are they doing? If people can't afford to buy a house, what are they doing? Squatting. No. Good answer, though. They're going to be renting. So the rentals will go up in price. And so you will kind of get this balance out of maybe the price doesn't appreciate as much, but you will get the balance in the return and cash flow potentially if you get at the right price. Sorry to rant about real estate, but it's just always interesting because people are like, oh, you can't make money when rates. And it's like, well, yeah, actually you can. You can make money on the rental part of it. But here's the great thing is that say you can make it work cash flow wise at current interest rates. Well, if interest rates ever do drop, it's a bonus. Bonus. You could refinance. I think is it 6 months? The longest you can wait to refinance, or the shortest. Some banks, again, I don't know, maybe some loans are different, but yes, any questions? Oh my God, I just didn't realize this. Holy hell, solar's getting just destroyed again. Look at corporate debt. Ay, Dios míos. Look at tan. Look at tan. I got almost kicked off of StockTwits for just hammering on solar. Like somebody reported me as like some sort of like negative comments. I said solar is shit. I think that's what I said. Look at that. Since the 200-day, I mean, it's literally been, you had like at worst, like a couple days up max, and it's just like always lower. And why is that, right? Government subsidies? You think we're sending all our money to Ukraine, right? There's no room for solar. Sorry. World's sending all their extra cash. Any other thoughts, concerns? If not, I'll wrap it up. 37 minutes. Again, I appreciate you guys watching this. If you want, I'm going to drop this on Rumble too. I know, and I guess I can't say the words shadow BAN, but I'm pretty sure YouTube has done that. Whatever, I don't really care. I mean, it'd be nice to have a bigger following, but then it becomes more problems. But I'd like to post on Rumble because I think some people rather use it. Some people have asked me, they're like, oh, we like it better as a platform. You can say whatever you want on there. Well, I mean, I typically am saying it. Again, but I have to be careful. There might be kids. I don't want to be a bad role model by swearing unnecessarily. But again, because I had this conversation with someone. They're like, what are your political beliefs? I'm like, green. I'm just trying to figure out what green does, what the money is going to do. Oh, come on, FedEx, you can do it, right? Hey, thanks for your time. Of course, Shannon. And again, that's the goal here is just, again, we can talk about politics and most of you guys know, I believe both sides are absolutely crappy. They're not doing anything they say. And the ones that one side's rather extreme and the other side's a bunch of silly pansies that won't do, again, none of them do what, they're all bought and sold by big corporate interests. Like if they actually had to do the right thing, they wouldn't kick the can down the road endlessly. They know debt is an issue at some point, but they're just like, not in my term. You guys deal with it next term. So you can be as green as you want on Rumble. Yeah, no, I trust me. I get that. That's why I was just figured I would drop it there. And again, if that's the site you want to report, go right ahead. If not, again, YouTube. I have no problem with YouTube. Again, I know Google has their own ideas about things, but that's fine. We can all agree to whatever. Everything's fine. Hopefully we're not considered extreme. I don't think there's anything extreme about talking about what's going on in the markets. But, at some point, someone will probably get mad and report us. And that's where I was like, you know what, maybe I'll just post a Rumble just in case I have a place. Because that has happened to me on StockTwits. It's happened to me on TradingView. I mean, a lot of you guys don't know my stories, but I used to have the fifth largest trading room on TradingView. It's called the Volume BPA room. Eric, you remember, Scott, if you're around, you guys remember, some of y'all. And they banned me because I told them they were wrong on gold. I didn't agree with their positions. Their moderators got very frustrated that I was just like, you guys are trying to sell technical analysis indicators that are worthless. And they didn't like that I said that. And it was true, because I was like, your indicators are not proving to be correct, friends. Yeah, they got very butthurt. And they also did not like that we would kind of call them out with gold and the miners. Because again, I mean, you get like these people who are just like obsessed. And I mean, I had people telling me like I was part of the market makers. I was literally making the market and trying to get them to convince them that, or convincing people to sell gold. I'm like, no, or buy gold. I'm like, no, I'm not that guy. Yeah, you got banned from X? What did you get banned from X for? It's different now. Sorry to hear that, Shannon. Yeah, I mean, Disney's getting dumped. I mean, again, when you said it, I was like, is it below 79? No, but it is not acting amazing. It is not acting amazing. I mean, I've got issues with Disney. Again, I'm not trying to get political, but go woke, go broke. I just don't think that's a great business model. Again, people's kids don't care about what's going on, like this kind of stuff. Don't brainwash kids. Don't get them involved. They don't care. Again, I as a kid never saw color. Never. Grew up in North Carolina, played basketball. All my boys were black guys. I didn't know anything different. We're all brothers, playing basketball, hanging out every day. Did not see color. Because my account. No, that sucks. And that's what most kids are. And again, that's my take on that. Most kids don't see the world like adults. All right, that'll get you banned, right? Meta, come on, break that 300 for Deanna and friends who are in that. I'll just run through it real quick, Goog, and then I'll log it off. 20-day failure. I mean, Micron. I mean, I had someone texting me from behind the scene going, oh, but it just popped 30 cents. I'm like, do you not realize it just went from 69.64 down to like 67, whatever, 50, and then it bounced back a little bit? Who cares? Apple, titanium, not good. Again, I thought about that. I'm like, does titanium insulate? Well, isn't it not like a great insulator, but it's a really tough material, right? Like, too bad the glass isn't titanium, but you know what I mean? Like, is it holding heat? Oops, I think it is. Any other thoughts, questions, concerns? NVIDIA, if you shorted this up here, good times. Yes, ready, set, sell, ready. Very, very good times. 2-day range. FedEx breaking 260. If you shorted this today, again, I talked about it. Like, man, as much as I'd love to say I got up in here, I didn't. I just shorted it today because I saw it fill the gap. And I was like, I think the market's going to get pounded because we have a professional gap on the what? The SPY. And then we filled that, and I was like, oof. I was like, I'll start a position at 265 and change. Thanks, man. I'll have a beer. Again, I'll tell you what I have, Dan. I'll text you. Thank you for that $10. I probably was limited titanium anyway. Their SW is messy, causing the heat. Their software, how does software cause heat? I don't doubt you for a minute. I appreciate it, Dan. Thank you. I'll probably won't have a beer. I'll have something else. Again, I've been, can I say this on the air? I don't care. Honestly, I have been a big fan of mushrooms. If you study the use of psilocybin, it helps you rewrite your neural pathways. So your subconscious is basically, an automatic mechanism to help steer you in the direction for survival. And obviously a lot of your subconscious was formed between the ages of 0 and 7. So we all have wiring that is faulty, 1000% faulty. I mean, everybody does. Unless you're like Elon Musk or, man, even Elon probably does, but like amazingly successful. I'm not going to say that I'm a 1%er like that. No. So what mushrooms have done and helped me realize is like I have certain faulty wirings, and the best way to see them is through mushrooms and help to rewrite them and then replant them. No, I'm not microdosing. No. I am macro dosing heavily, like letting it out, letting my nervous system freak the hell out And those thoughts come and then facing them, absolutely facing them. I keep telling people, here, if you have a second, check this out. This book is really, really good. And I posted this one on, is it Twitter? Is it Twitter? Yep. All that stuff. Love it. The Untethered Soul. Again, if you got to go, you got to go. I think this book is amazing. It talks about the inner voices. Like, who are you? Who are you? Are you the voice that speaks? Are you the 7-year-old, the 10-year-old, the 40-year-old? Are you who you are today? Like, who are you? You're a culmination of the voices that speak. Do you even realize that they're speaking? Do you realize they're even controlling you? Do they realize that these voices are programming? If you like your phone, it's searching for something else. It gets hot. Gotcha. Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it. Does this make sense that you are the voices that are in your head? And again, if you got to go, I'm going to talk about this because I love this topic. This has been very powerful. So if you got to go, but this can also help you with trading. It's called The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. It's only 6-hour audio. It's pretty good. The voices that are in your head are the subconscious programming and beliefs from your past, right? When people try to change, they try to convince themselves to change, right? They're like, oh, I want to make $1 million. I want to get in shape. I want to do this. Well, again, you're trying to imprint a voice on top of voices that have been around for 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years, maybe imprinted with heavy traumas, right? Heavy traumas. Like for me, again, I will repeat, I don't care. I really don't care what people judge me for. As a child, I was bullied intensely by my brother. He's 5 years older. Whatever reason why, he wasn't a happy kid. He's a great guy now. Love the guy. But as a child, he was not happy that I came into the world. He bullied the shit out of me. He destroyed my self-worth and self-confidence. Because, again, I loved him, but he didn't love me. So it's very, like, again, when I talk about this, is like, this is really hard. And so, yeah, my inner bullied 4th grader shorted NVIDIA in March. So as an adult, some part of my wiring was always to try to people please at some sort of minuscule level. I controlled that for many years ago, but it's still there. But then also too in relationships, in loving relationships, not with like coworkers or people or friends, but in deep emotional connections, I had a very easy wiring. If someone's bullying me, I fight back intensely, or I just totally, disappear, or like I just, become ice cold, because that's how my mechanism for handling conflict, intense conflict as a child was, right? Like imagine getting picked on, beat up, right? And I saw this through mushrooms. Like I saw the memories. Like I always tell people, like, I don't really remember my childhood. Well, guess what? This shit opened the door heavy. And I saw it. I saw the things that he was doing to me. It was basically torture. And so guess what? That wiring is so deep on a level. Like think about like an onion that had many layers. Like the very inside core of the onion, that deepest voice is what? One of fear, one of resentment, one of pain, one of basically, and again, I mean, everybody's got screwed up wiring somewhere, where again, for me, I never got the love that I thought I would get from my brother. And again, it sounds stupid, right? But I had love from my parents. Parents were great. But the guy that think about it, at those ages, like who did you hang out with? If you had siblings, you hung out with your brother, your sister. He hated me with like a massive amount of pain, because he was pain, because I was better in different ways than him, right? Yeah, self-sabotage. And again, and there's opportunities where that's where I've dug into this before, but this book I'm reading again and just thinking about it, like, because again, now that I'm going through issues with my my marriage, I'm realizing like those same kind of issues just basically are popping up into the communication styles that I had problems with. And again, I'm not scared to talk about this. Whether things work out or not, I don't care. But I'm like, man, I really just want to be the best person and version of myself. And I got to recognize these voices. Because again, I don't really have them in trading anymore. Like I know what I need to do. Like I've overcome those, but the voices within relationships are just as important, right? Because think about it, like if my emotions are triggered from, not triggered, but if your feelings and emotions are in control in another part of your life, it will bleed into your trading. It absolutely will. And we've all seen this before. We've all probably done this. So, come on, market bouncing. Okay, not surprised. Lunchtime? Yep, lunchtime. Exactly. So does this make sense though? Like these voices. So when you're sitting here quiet by yourself, what is that voice? Is it you? Or is it your programming? On a conscious level, on your highest self, highest version of yourself, what do you want to be? A great trader. Well, what are the wirings what is actually speaking? I don't know if this is going to work. I don't trust this. Every time I have a big win, I lose. Every time I'm up, I give it back. Every time I think about all the mistakes you've ever made in trading. Think about all of the mistakes you've ever made. And so those mistakes now are kind of guiding you potentially in your trades. And that's where it's like, if you know how to define your risk, not hard. Take profits when you have them, right? Not rocket science. Know your plan, right? Like these are all easy things. That's why I think if you can understand this in trading, all of these former voices are to protect you, right? These voices are there to protect you from mistakes you made in the past. But at some point, they're only self-serving to a specific scenario. Or they're self-serving because in the past, you have not been able to act, right? You have not been able to act because you don't have the confidence in yourself. Or you believe you have. Again, a lot of people get very, very based at oh, I'm going to get lucky, superstitious, right? Oh, it's good luck, bad luck. And it's like the market doesn't work like that. It's not like that. Market doesn't give a shit about your position. Excuse my language. It just doesn't. It doesn't. Your positions, my positions, they're small fries. They're literally fleas on the dog's balls, right? Like Snoop Dogg. Scratch you off my balls with my motherfucking claws, right? Like that. Like that's literally what it is. Excuse my language again. So again, if you can understand these voices, you have to be able to let them speak, and then you have to confront them with your higher self. Say I really have a struggle with holding on to winning trades. Okay, well then take some profits if you need to. But then talk to yourself, why do you feel that way? Like confront this voice as a person. Like, and they say in this book, like give these voices a name, a face, a body. For me, I have two major voices. My inner child, who was bullied, and the reckless kind of, again, alpha version of me that just is like, it's just, again, very masculine, like aggressive, thinks they can always be right, never wrong. Like, I wouldn't say like bully type, but more just like arrogant. And that guy gets in trouble too, right? The child's scared, the other one's, arrogant. Believes his own hype, believes that he's not going to be wrong. And I'm telling you, again, if you got to go, you got to go. This is the kind of stuff that really will help you because, again, it's not like trading's hard, right? If Eric's around, so we say trading's not hard, but trading is hard. Well, it's the psychology, right? It's the ability to go, well, we know OPEC's coming. Maybe you should take some oil shorts off. But that inner voice is going, but what if this happens? Well, you get better at ignoring those voices by executing your plans. See how your confidence grows in that? Like if you start ignoring those inner voices that have come from fear versus like the ones where your higher self is telling you. Yes, learning to trade is easy. Trading is hard. That's what you like to say. I love that one. Does this make sense? And this is where, if you have to write out your rules, this is where you have to have on your surface level mind, like the top of your mind, define your risk, know your plan, layer in, layer out, more you're up, less you own. Market doesn't move in a straight line. You just don't get caught up in the day-to-day things if you have a trend, but you don't chase. Again, it's why we have these rules. And if you can stick to them, it's like, man, trading is fucking easy. Now, again, and if you expect perfection, that's another kind of trait that people have that screws them up. No, I don't. Do you think I get in? Again, I shorted FedEx at 265. I got to 265.50. Did I sit there and go, oh, this trade's a loser? I was like, no, I know my risk. I'll just hang out, see what happens. Shorted Micron at 69 and change. Oh, I went to 69.65. Oh, you're a loser. No. Again, I don't go all in, right? I'm not like plowing all in. I'm just like, all right, I'll take a bit, and if it goes, great. Oh, went a little higher. Ooh, even better. You see how that like relieves that pressure, that voice going, you got to be right, dude. This is your spot. Look at it. Go. Go, 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 go. No, I don't go. Let's take it easy. Let's let evidence play out. Again, we know things can rally. We know things can play games. We know chop is a legitimate formation. So, again, this is the stuff. Use the Calendly link. Hit me up. I can talk you through your wiring and your programming. I can help you out in this. Again, that's why, again, I've never charged anything because I love helping people. Because, if you can teach it, you know it yourself. I love helping people with this because this is literally sometimes the difference between mediocrity and success in trading. It's not that they don't know how to trade. It's just they don't know how to overcome the faulty wiring that they've created because of losses. Losses trigger what? Emotions. Emotions trigger feelings. Feelings are what? A story that you're telling yourself to protect yourself from what? Losses. Well, just because you made a mistake, it doesn't define you. So to overcome that, you have to talk to these voices. You have to understand what they are and what these mechanisms are that come from your subconscious, deep within that onion. So again, use the Calendly link, hit me up. I'm going to let you guys roll. I will see you. Well, I'll drop the end of the day recap later on, but I appreciate everybody. Again, thank you for the love, support, generous donations. I hopefully people, again, I didn't really trade around any positions here because I don't anticipate too much. I mean, maybe get a little bit of new money back, but again, I'm trying to create longer dated stuff. At this point, I'm looking for oil shorts. I'd like to see Exxon here. Let's just end it on this. Oil, right? What's your plan, Dan? All right, well, let's end it there. So if you stuck around, you got the bonus stuff. Probably somewhere around the 8 and 10 day. Probably 91 on USO. Yeah, of course. You guys are welcome. Exxon Mobil. I'd be watching this one for a bounce. I mean, 20 day seems maybe even 117. Maybe. Tells me what to do. Yeah. Yep, right. Look at that area. You could pull up XOP. Man, this thing just looks so crappy. I don't know, 143, but you feel like there's going to be a wick if it pops. So 144, 145. MPC's been acting like crap again, gasoline. Dip buy anything? No, not at all. No. Not even yet. Nope. They throw the baby out with the bathwater. Liquidity is a massive issue, and they will throw out good and the bad. We've only hit VIX 20. Wait till you get a VIX 50 plus. Again, if you're new to the channel, that is a typical recurring theme. Like, doesn't matter what it is. You will get everything tossed out because, again, it becomes end of year bonus. No. Do not buy anything. No. Hell no. You might be new, but no. Think about why. Said this earlier in the video. Why? I'll end it there. Good question, though. Again, needs to be repeated. It doesn't matter. Good dividend PE. It doesn't matter. What's a good PE? Again, no one can agree on a good PE. Again, if the market thought it was a good PE, it would be higher. So end of the year, right? Fourth quarter starts. Hedge funds, institution, mutual fund, calendar year. Everybody is going to do what? They're going to try to get their ducks in a row to get their bonuses, to lock in their yearly performances and reviews. If the market starts going sideways, it doesn't matter. It'll be last one out is a rotten egg. I've seen this before. That's why Octobers are some of the scariest months ever, because it doesn't matter. If the liquidity's coming out and everybody wants to lock in their performance, their bonuses, look at me, look how great I did. Market's up 20%, I can't lose. When that flips, and now it's a race to get the hell out. And again, look at Valero. It broke the uptrend. Game over. No way. Hell no. This is not a buy. It's game over. And again, it's throw the baby out with the bathwater. Again, PE, whatever, earnings. We could sit here and argue for months about what the right price is. It doesn't matter. When TraderFlorida.net, love the guy. He made this analogy, and I always love it. When the theater is on fire, no one gives a shit about being safe, smart, or thoughtful. Everyone's just trying to get out. The theater's on fire. There's one door. There is one door. Go. Just like stocks can go higher than you think, they can absolutely go much lower than you think. And so when you try to say it's based on the dividend or the PE ratio, it doesn't matter. The market doesn't care. There's emotion. There's emotion behind this. Because what's the right value? How do you, and I love this, like Tesla prices at hundreds of times the earnings, but there'll be Valero trade at 5. That's not rational, right? It's not rational. And so that's where it's, where people try to put rationality onto the market. It's like, wrong. So All right, y'all. I'm going to get running. I appreciate everybody's love, support, generous donations. Again, that if you invest in me, I invest in you because I want to see you win. Again, even if it's a $10 beer from Deanna, like you got to be willing to do things differently if you have not been successful. And if you've gotten lucky and you're not willing to admit that, like some people bought Bitcoin, think they're really good traders. I'm like, no, you got fucking lucky. You just got lucky. Or you bought something and it went nuts. You got lucky. So again, 2009 was the buying opportunity of a lifetime.